In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to some of the craziest and creepiest videos I've found on TikTok. Let's get into it.
Most of the drones that you have been seeing have to do with man-made devices, human-made devices that are surveilling, observing, and protecting against incursions from others with ill intent. Some of the drones may be extraterrestrial vehicles disguised as drones, but many of the drones, even the ones that are human-made, military-made, that are involved in this surveillance and observation, may still be being coordinated by extraterrestrial beings in terms of the information that is being gathered by the drones that is important for preventing others of ill intent from doing actions that would be detrimental to many of the societies on your planet. So it's a very complex and involved operation that involves not only your military, but also extraterrestrials on another level to help coordinate information that provides the protection necessary to prevent actions that have ill intent from happening in your world. And that is all we will say at this time.
Well, there you go. You heard it from Bashar.
Former CIA pilot John Lear claims that the moon is a spaceship. It was made 15,000 years ago, not on Earth, on Jupiter. When they made it, they sent it out to Earth to monitor Earth. So there's people living on this spaceship, the moon.
So this insinuates that all of the intelligent life form then is in Jupiter.
Yes.
Is that why Jupiter's just a big ball of gas?
That's what they want us to think.
So the magical men are all living on Jupiter. They built the spacecraft and they shot it towards Earth, and Earth grabbed it in its gravitational field, and it's remained in that field as a watcher over the Earth.
Yeah, and according to this ex-CIA agent, there's 40 planets.
In our solar system.
Yes, and they all have intelligent life on them, including Earth. Earth is one of them.
Do we have any more information about the spacecraft?
Oh, that's all he wrote.
You know, it's really funny that before I started doing the reacting to conspiracy theories and everything, I actually never heard that the moon was a spacecraft before. I've heard that it was a possible plasma ball. I've even heard that it was cheese. Never once did I hear that it was a spacecraft. Let me know in the comments. Do you believe that the moon could potentially be a spacecraft, a satellite? What is your beliefs on the moon in general? I'd be more than happy to hear in the comments.
Something very interesting is happening on December 24th that I do not see a lot of people talking about right now. So the Jubilee Year of 2025, right, will begin on December 24th, when the Holy Father opens the holy door of St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. Now it's really interesting because the year will conclude on January 6th of 2026. Interesting date. But you know what's even more interesting? Is that earlier this year on May 9th, the solemnity of the Ascension of the Lord, Pope Francis officially proclaimed the ordinary Jubilee of 2025. Does anybody remember how earlier this year, the Vatican itself was preparing to release a certain document, giving guidance on how to discern supernatural phenomena? Oh, but it gets so much more interesting because the theme of the year is Pilgrims of Hope. The papal bull that introduced this year, if you don't know what a papal bull is, then I'll tell you. A papal bull is a formal document from the Roman Catholic Church's Pope that is authenticated by a seal. Interesting, right? A seal, but it's titled Spes non confundit, which means hope does not disappoint. And the logo for the 2025 Jubilee features 4 figures embracing each other, with the figure at the front holding onto a cross. Now the cross is dynamic, bending down towards humanity. And the lower part of the cross is elongated and turned into an anchor. I'm sure you see where I'm going here, but just wait. The Vatican launched a cartoon mascot to engage a younger audience. And you know what his name is? His name is Luce, which is Italian for light. I'm sure you see where I'm going here. Now, I'm not going to speak upon this much more because I'm sure by now you see where I'm going here. But man, I'm looking forward to the year 2025.
That's pretty cool. What if old dinosaur bones is just ancient technology? Something to think about.
Have you ever heard the distant mumbling voices trying to talk to you as you're falling asleep? And specifically in childhood, this may have been something that terrified you and made falling asleep very difficult because you were afraid that these voices would come back. If you have those memories or are currently dealing with something like this, you need to listen to what I'm about to say, because not only is this phenomenon actually well documented and relatively understood, there are actually people out there who are seeking out this experience that you are having naturally. The state between wakefulness and sleep is something called the hypnagogic state, and during this phase it is very common to have all sorts of auditory, visual, and even tactile hallucinations where you can feel something. And specifically with what we're talking about right now, people report an auditory hallucination where they hear these distant, faint, mumbling voices, almost like when you're tuning an old radio and you start to get in between the channels and you hear this weird chatter. Not only are these voices a normal part of your hypnagogic state, but for many they are actually a sign that they are about to astral project, which is something that many people are actively seeking out, this out-of-body mystical experience where they can learn more about their own subconscious. If you want to explore this and push past that phase to have a full out-of-body experience, then the next time that you start to hear those mumbling voices as you are falling asleep, just stay calm.
Interesting. I don't really have that experience now. Sometimes when I'm wearing my headphones and I'm editing a video, I think I hear voices, but that's just me trying to be more conscious of my surroundings and just listening out for my family if they need anything. But as a kid, I do remember all the time laying in the bed, and it would always sound like the TV was going or the radio was going. I could always hear conversation or chatter of some sort, and I always thought it was a TV or radio, but whenever I would check, nothing was playing. So that kinda did ring a bell, but other than that, I don't really personally experience this anymore. Let me know in the comments, do any of you experience this, or have you ever experienced it? Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, go ahead and give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. For everyone that's currently watching and or subscribed, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being subscribed. I would also like to give a special shout out to all of my active members that I currently have on this channel. So to everyone that you see on the screen right now, thank you so much for supporting my channel in that way.
People are freaking out after just finding out this about the Polar Express. I'd hope a lot of you know the classic Christmas film, The Polar Express. But people didn't know this about the film, and I genuinely don't know how, and some of the things people have been saying online are genuinely mad. This film, of course, released back in 2004, so it's over 20 years old now. I remember when this came out, the graphics were like the most insane thing ever, like, you probably remember it. Tom Hanks, of course, classic actor, he was in the film and played this guy. But he also played all of these characters right here. The main guy, Scrooge, this guy, so many others. And you got 50% of people freaking out saying, I genuinely never knew this. How would I have known this? And the other half saying, you lot are mad that you didn't know this. But there's also a lot of comments saying this, along with other things, as apparently there's a lot of allegations out there at the moment surrounding that, so you tell me. But crazier again is the fact that there are thousands of people in these comments saying, what is this film? Never heard of it. Not a Christmas film. Like, how can you not know this film? Like, even if you haven't seen it, surely you've heard of it. But apparently not. A lot of people don't know it. But it is pretty mad that he did play all of these people, and we all know what else happened on the film set.
MK Ultra is a pretty well-known CIA project. It's a mind control project. In the 50s, with the Cold War heating up, the U.S. hoped to discover what was called a truth serum. They secretly dosed unwitting U.S. and Canadian citizens with LSD, and they would interrogate and sometimes torture participants. They paid hospitals, prisons, universities for their participation and their silence. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all documents related to MK Ultra be destroyed. Nobody involved in the project, but remembered the details.
So
I
scary.
tend to think that it never stopped.
No, yeah,
it just changes.
It just changes.
I remember hearing a story about a young kid. They had stings basically in brothels or in drug houses, and they would drug these people unbeknownst to them, and then they would leave. And this guy, no joke, wakes up 5 or 6 hours later, blood on his hands, and he had just killed 2 people. Like, he was confirmed at an MK Ultra house where they were doing testing, and it's like he just blacks out and suddenly he just kills 2 people.
We all watched Zoolander.
You learn martial arts.
Oh, engine failure. Ooh, all right.
Ooh, that would be a nightmare.
Shoot, okay.
Ooh, that was crazy.
Whoa, so mayday, mayday, mayday. Uniform Echo Tango, Uniform Echo Tango. Uniform Echo Tango. Okay. Thor, we're gonna be okay. I've got control here. You're flying with me. So we're coming down. I see the Stave River down there. We're going to come down and land on the Stave River there. Just controlling our RPM. Speed's pretty good. What I'm actually doing, at 80 knots right now, so I'm glide stretching a little bit, okay? So I'm just going to make sure that we're stretching as far as we can here. And I'm just checking if there's any other hazards on the way down here. And it looks like we're all nice and clear. Okay, and it looks like we're going to be a little bit short. So what I'm doing, I'm glide stretching a little bit. So I'm getting a little bit of that speed back again. Lower RPMs. Okay. And we're coming in. Alright, this is going to work just perfectly right here.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to be okay. Woo!
Wow.
Nicely done, man. We did it, bud.
I mean, even though he was super calm and collective, I bet you his boat was still clinched tight, both of theirs. I know I would be. Thank goodness that guy was highly trained in what he was doing, though. So props to him.
This camera is pointing straight down at this dish of vibrating water. As the ripples in the water hit the edge of the dish, they begin to fold back on themselves, creating these beautiful geometric patterns. The light shining down from above revealed a reflection off the surface of the water. This is called cymatics, the study of sound made visible.
Neat.
This camera is...
Alright, so I don't know if this is psychosis or just dissociating, but like I have an issue with dissociating. I totally blank out, like disappear for moments at a time, sometimes long periods at a time. And I'm not sure why I dissociate. Maybe my brain's overwhelmed, maybe there's stress, who knows, right? But it's gotten to the point where like I'm talking to people and they're talking to me, right? And they're telling me stuff. And as they're talking to me, I feel myself like disappear into the ether. Like there's like nothing here. And then I come back after a little bit, I'm like, shoot, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I didn't hear what you said, you know? And so at this point, I feel like I should probably figure out what's going on, you know? But at the same time, it's been making the conversations pretty exciting.
I don't know if it's disassociation or what it is, but I do kind of relate to this in a scary way. When I'm driving, sometimes I zone out kind of like that, where I'm just driving and it's a nice straight road. Sometimes I just completely zone out and I just come back to while I'm driving. Not like I'm asleep or anything, it's just I'm like in the zone, I guess. Let me know, does that happen to you guys sometimes? Do you guys experience what this guy experiences?
Oh, y'all don't know what happened to Jake from State Farm? No, kids, not this one. The original Jake from State Farm. Now, for those of you that don't know, back in the day, this was Jake from State Farm. But State Farm had a problem. Jake got way more popular than they thought he was gonna get. He was just supposed to show up for one commercial. In the commercial, this dude talking to someone in the middle of the night. His wife snatches the phone. She says, "You cheating." She says, "What you wearing, mama?" Jake says, "Khakis." And everyone laughs. I mean, really laughs. Parents all around the world, including my own, talking about khakis. Because you see, the wife, it was a hit. So much so that years later, State Farm decided to make Jake their official mascot. They start playing the commercial again. The wife says, "What are you wearing?" And then this dude pops up. Everybody said, "Hey, yo!" At one point, original Jake shows up, but people were still like, eh. Now, here's why State Farm did it. See, it turns out the original Jake was actually named Jake. And he actually worked at a State Farm call center. They wanted someone from State Farm to play the role. He said, "I'll do it." He said, "Khakis." The rest was history. But State Farm needed an actor, someone who could be Jake from State Farm 24/7, show up in commercials, show up in video games, all that, so they chose him. And the original Jake just kept working at the call center, but I believe now he works as a bartender and he has a nice family.
Dang, so I wonder if they at least given him the opportunity to take that role, you know, hey, you can be our mascot, if you will. Or do you think that they just like kicked him to the side and they brought in the other guy? That would be kind of sucky if they did, but if he just didn't want to do it, then totally understandable.
Everybody's spiritual now in 2024. You catch folks, homie, they be covered in crystals, draped in medallions and jewelry and all of that. Go get you a moldavite crystal. If you can rock that motherfucker without losing your damn mind, I'll be impressed. I consider you spiritual for real. Cause everybody can't hang with damn moldavite. Some people say that motherfucking crystal is cursed. Others say it works in your favor. It just works in your favor to an extreme degree. Or if you really damn spiritual, go on get you a moldavite crystal. If you can hang with that without losing your shit, you spiritual for real.
Moldavite is something that's always kind of fascinated me. I've never purchased any of it personally. I'm always too sketched out if it's real or not. I don't know if it's believable or not. I would really like to know your guys' opinion in the comments, for the ones that especially know about moldavite. And if you've never heard of it before, well, there you go. You can learn something new.
Okay, here's the easy one. What does a horse look like? Yeah, 4 legs, fast, muscular. Okay, you got it in your head? What does his pupils look like? Yeah, his eyes. Are they round? Are they oval? Are they slits? Or are they rectangular? Think about it.
Rectangular.
They are rectangular. When did a horse's eyes become rectangular? Now, I remember a goat's eyes being rectangular. I remember some sort of devilish animal being rectangular, but I don't never remember a horse being rectangular. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not like a rancher or a cowboy or anything, but I am a human being, and I do remember things, and I just don't remember horses' eyes look like that. Now, if there is some equestrian professional, please let us know. Do you remember, because you work with horses all the time? But I don't remember horses' eyes looking like that ever.
I mean, for me, they've looked like that. They've always been big, and then their pupils have been kind of rectangular. That's just what I've always been used to. I couldn't imagine seeing a horse that had actual big pupils. Like, imagine if they had like owl eyes. That would be creepy. But let me know in the comments, do you come from this timeline or this alternate reality where horses had round pupils? Or are you from this reality where they've always had like rectangular pupils? Let me know.
Somebody convinced me that I haven't jumped timelines or switched to a new matrix, or that there's not been a glitch in the matrix. So let me explain what I have been trying to legitimize and make logical in my head all day long, and I still cannot figure out what has happened here. Yesterday, I took my daughter to a thrift store. We were looking for a specific chair. She saw this pair of Elsa shoes from the movie Frozen and would not leave without them. They were old, they were kind of worn, and I was like, whatever, grab the shoes, let's take them home. They'll be perfect for dress up. I put them in her basket in her room, and this morning I came in here into the living room where we keep our shoes in that shoe basket there. And I see the Elsa shoes, and I was like, well, that's really weird. I had put this pair of shoes in her room in her dress-up basket. I can't believe she's already gotten them out and put them back in the basket. And so I picked up the shoes, I walked to her room and to the basket thinking, well, I'll just put them back in there. And there's 2 pairs of these shoes. There's 2 pairs of these shoes. But that wasn't the part that I'm so confused about. On the bottom, because again, I got these at a secondhand store, on the bottom of these shoes, the same writing. So again, it's not like one pair was picked up somewhere else and they're secondhand. It's not like they were purchased at Walmart or something and we accidentally grabbed 2 pairs of these shoes. And also, I thought, okay, I asked her dad, did you buy her some of these shoes? He said, no, I didn't. I also thought back to Christmas. My mom had gotten her a pair of little Elsa shoes, but that's not them. These are them. It's a completely different pair of shoes altogether. They're the same shoe. It's the same size. They're both worn out in the same distress in the same way like they're secondhand. I'm so confused. Also, look at one of the shoes in each pair is missing a strap. In this pair, it's on this shoe, on the right shoe, and on this pair, it's on the left shoe. But both are missing a strap. Somebody.
I mean, to have memory good enough to know what someone got for Christmas would be kind of hard to misplace. So if I've already bought these shoes for my kid once. So that is a little odd, and they do have writing on the bottom, but they aren't the same writing. So I don't know if I fall for that. This is an odd one though, I have to admit.
People are freaking out after realizing why they used to do this and what it actually means. Many people are apparently saying they've discovered they're autistic or have ADHD or something. So you probably all did this when you were younger. A busy swimming pool is a perfect example. In a busy, noisy area, lots going on, you might tap your ears loads and it would like make a funny sound. This has been causing a lot of fuss on social media recently because what these posts are saying is, I didn't realize I was stimming. Now if you say stimming, my instant thought goes to that, but what does it actually mean? So stimming is just a shortened word for a self-stimulating activity. Many people do things such as tapping their legs or having to fidget with a specific object. And doing this with your ears is an example of stimming. Now yes, stimming is a common occurrence in people who are autistic and also for ADHD. Which of course has lots of people freaking out saying, I didn't realize I had this and maybe I do. But just because you did this when you were younger, it definitely does not mean that you 100% do. I think pretty much everybody who's watching this video right now did this at some point when they were younger, and probably mainly just because it sounded weird and cool.
Yep.
Bro, what the fuck? That's creepy.
Oh shit.
Should we go back? No.
Is that a... No. It's a fucking washing machine. Yeah.
That's a freezer. No, that's a freezer.
Holy shit. Is it empty?
Is someone living down here?
I hope not.
Himalayan salt or petrified giants? Which is it? Hold on before you swipe on by. This isn't some crazy conspiracy theory post. I just want to show y'all pork ribs in a pink salt mine. It looks very, very, very eerily similar, doesn't it? Now, what does it look like whenever they're inside these salt mines? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that remind y'all of? We're going to show you a couple more images, and then we're going to decide if petrified giants are real or not. I should call her. Anyways, now the theories on these giants, or these petrified giants, man, are pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's all alleged. Like this right here. Look at this right here, man. That's freaking awesome, isn't it? So now back to the Himalayan pink salt. That looks exactly like bacon. Is this bacon or Himalayan salt? I mean, look at that, man. It literally looks like layers of skin, like epidermis. I'm just saying, man. I'm not saying it is. I think I might have said that already, right? Fact checkers. And remember, everybody, it's always the questions, never the answers. Always question and think about things because... I mean, I was eating Himalayan pink salt for a long time until I came across the Dr. Regenerated, actually.
Video appears to show this man at a Mesa Walmart pull out a big can of bug killer and spray it on bananas, sweet potatoes, lemons, apples, tomatoes, and even rotisserie chickens.
I'm shocked.
It happened at this Mesa Walmart. Frequent shoppers like Ramon Sobranes can't believe anyone would do this.
This is where people shop for their families, like on a real note. Like, it's very possible that those bananas a mom could have been grabbing by to get some for her kids.
A spokesperson with Walmart sent us a statement about the incident, saying in part, the health and safety of our customers and associates is always a top priority. We have removed all directly impacted product and have cleaned and sanitized the affected area of the store, adding they are working with law enforcement. This video is a recording of the original. It was posted by someone on X after they claimed the original poster deleted it off their social media page.
It's kind of the stuff that nowadays is kind of a problem because the content chasing.
Attorney Anthony Ramirez says even if it was a prank, this person could still be charged.
That is horrible. And I do hope that there is some kind of punishment that gets taken out on this guy because that is an awful thing to do to people's food. Someone's going to go and buy that food and not wash it. They're just going to either eat the product or going to give it to somebody. Bad things are going to happen because of that. And this video is a good video to put out there to at least let people know that if you're buying your foods from grocery stores or stores in general, it is probably best if it's not wrapped in a container to wash it before you consume it, because even though like those bananas aren't a peel, you're still going to be peeling them before you consume it, and you may ingest whatever was on that peeling. So just be careful out there. There's a lot of messed up people.
Have you also heard the theory that the Apostle John that wrote Revelation, that he's never died? When the apostles came to Christ and they're asking like how they're going to die or something like that, he says, you'll be crucified, you'll be killed in my name. But then they're like, well, what about John? But like he was tortured. There was a story, like I think it's in history, proven that one of the ways that they tried to kill him was lowering him in a vat of like boiling oil and
I
stuff.
had heard that, yeah.
And he survived, and then he was sent to the island of Patmos, and that's where he wrote Revelation, but never mentioned that he died. I mean, that'd be pretty dope if he was like taken up like how Elijah and Enoch.
Because he was the one whom Jesus loved.
Yeah,
that's true. Made that very clear.
Florida guy, Walmart used a drone delivery. The Ron Swanson shoots down a drone thing. Dude is in trouble now because he shot down a Walmart drone that wouldn't leave his backyard.
This right here blows my freaking mind. They found a black cube, yeah, you heard me right, a black cube in one of those orbs floating in the sky. One of these UFOs or UAPs or whatever they're calling them. They're literally interdimensional creatures. But a black cube? I wonder what that could mean. If you don't know what that means, we'll get into it in 1 second. And it's really crazy because I was just wondering if there were frequencies and patterns in some of these beings that would let us know what side that they're on. Why does this matter? The black cube literally originates from Saturn's pole where the hexagon is. It shows both a 6-pointed star or a black cube, the UN. Black cube, Mecca, and it's for the god of Saturn. We just went over this. And again, Saturn worship is devil worship. All of this around me goes into the black cube, the Saturn, and to Satan. And the Shaw has many pictures which show a black cube by the sun. Here's the Daily Mail reporting it in every major city. Why so much for Satan? Because he's the god of this world. And most people don't know this. Do you know this hand gesture, the one they use for Rock Nation, is actually showing a 3-dimensional cube on an angle? You can see it right here clearly. The thumbs just point down. I love this picture. And they all worship that same god. The god of many names, Saturn, the black cube, the light bringer, the sixth god.
What do you guys think about this? Now, I have not seen the video that they showed here about the little orb with the black cube in it. I've not seen that actual video. I've only seen it from this video here, so I'm not sure if it was even real. But let me know in the comments if you believe all the other things that wrap around what he was saying, because that is a pretty interesting theory. But I don't know. I hope we get some kind of news from this soon.
The story of Laura Buxton. You ever heard of her?
Nah, who's that?
So Laura Buxton, she's a little girl, and she decided one day to write a letter, put it in a balloon, and let it fly, right? In hopes that somebody will write back to her.
Yeah.
So time goes by, and a balloon comes back to her, and the letter inside is to Laura Buxton from Laura Buxton.
What?
Yeah, so check this out. It's fucked.
How?
It's crazy. So she gets a letter, and it's from Laura Buxton.
Yeah.
Is it from herself? No, it wasn't.
No, somebody's trolling.
So that's what you think, right?
Yeah.
You think someone's trolling. Now, the origin of the letter, what happened was the balloon ended up landing like so far away, but ended up landing in a farm.
Okay.
Now, this farmer picked it up, and he saw the letter inside the balloon, said, from Laura Buxton. He's like, what the heck? And he realized, wait, Laura Buxton, that's my neighbor. But it wasn't the same neighbor.
Wait, what?
There's another Laura Buxton that lives right beside the farmer.
Oh, okay.
Like miles and miles and miles away.
Yeah.
Now, it just so happens, this Laura Buxton, she has a dog, just like
the real Laura Buxton.
real Laura Buxton, the exact same breed, the exact same everything.
Yeah.
Has a pet guinea pig, just like the other Laura Buxton.
Whoa, what the
exact
fuck?
same. She wears the exact same clothes. She's wearing the exact same pink cardigan, and they ended up meeting. Yeah.
Wait, both the Laura Buxtons? No,
yeah,
right?
they ended up meeting because that they were wondering like, yo, this person is exactly like me.
Yeah.
So they ended up meeting face to face. Fam, they both came carrying their guinea pig. They both came wearing the same fit. They both came. They stand at the same height.
What the fuck?
And to this day,
Yeah.
they're friends.
Laura
Same
Buxton.
name.
But they don't look
They
alike,
look
right?
alike.
What?
Look, I'll show you. They look alike in everything, bro.
Is that like a long lost twin, fam?
So no, it's not.
Yeah.
But people are saying like that's just a glitch.
When was this discovered? Like recently or no?
I'm
What
pretty
the
sure
fuck? These motherfuckers are time travelers.
2001.
Yeah.
So she was 10 years old at the time. Look, this is them now. They're older.
Okay,
They're older.
they don't look alike.
But
it's
as
like,
kids though,
yeah, let me see.
hold on.
But that's still crazy that you saw a Laura Buxton that looks exactly like you.
As kids though, they were looking alike. And when they pulled up together to meet for the first time, they're wearing the same fit and have the same guinea pig.
That is actually amazing. That is a once in a lifetime opportunity or moment. That kind of blows my mind. And I just did a quick Google search on this story, and it actually is true. And not only is it true, that balloon traveled over 140 miles. That's pretty bizarre.
Have you guys been seeing this orb UAP drone that got stuck in a tree a few days ago? It's been on my For You page for days, and everybody's freaking out like, yay, we finally caught a UAP. But it's not a UAP, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to talk about this and debunk this because I'm a professional. Here it is. This is your UAP, the UAP of the week. In this picture, it looks like that balloon is a Mylar balloon with either a sparkle finish or it got rained on. This one is air filled, but these will float with helium. So I'm assuming that it floated with some helium and got stuck in a tree. This will really shine in the light.
I agree with this. Now, in my last video, I said something of the same sort, that was a number 0 balloon, and I had a few people say that was impossible. It just couldn't be it. It had lights on it, but to me, like she said, it's like a sparkle balloon, so it's just the lights reflecting the sparkles that are on it. Let me know in the comments, do you still believe that that's a drone, or do you believe more or less that that's a balloon?
There are spiritual battles happening in the sky all over the US right now. This was just taken in Nevada, and I'm about to show you another one. I just mentioned last night on live that there is a spiritual battle going on above our heads. And if you think this one's not real, the next one is for sure, absolutely. What was that? The next one is absolutely real.
To me, that just looks like reflections going off of the window of the traffic going by. I could be mistaken, but that's what it looks like to me.
This is crazy.
Ow. Whoa.
And I believe this one was just recorded as well. This is insane. We're not just seeing specks in the sky anymore. We're seeing specks jump around, dance around, battle in the sky. I mean, it's absolutely absurd what we're living in. Remember in January, I made a video and said that we will have alien disclosure by the end of the year. By the way, you need to stop what you're doing right now and go look what's happening to the bear country. I gotta say it stupidly on TikTok. Talk about it later.
Yeah, some of those definitely hard to explain. And I have myself seen some pretty weird stuff in the sky as of recent. And I will also say, at the end of last year, I did say that 2024 was probably going to be the year of the UFO, where we were going to start seeing more UFOs than usual. And honestly, I was beginning to get let down there throughout most of the year because we only had that one sighting of the Miami Mall incident, and now it's starting to pick back up with this. So 2025 is going to be an interesting year. It's going to be something, that's for sure.
I started listening to this new podcast, and it is blowing my mind. It's called The Telepathy Tapes. She is doing this podcast based off this study that children with autism and nonverbal autism have telepathy.
What?
It's the wildest thing, dude. So she got in contact with this doctor, and she's like, okay, well, I gotta study this. And so she put her credibility on the line, right? Because it's that sounds a little crazy. But she did this test, brought in hundreds of kids that were claimed to have this ability, nonverbal. And what they would do is they would put a parent in another room, the child in another room, and they would show something on the screen, whether it was a number, a picture, a color. Then they would go and the nonverbal kid would communicate on an iPad or something, and they're 95% accurate. But apparently it's a phenomenon. A ton of autistic nonverbal kids somehow have this gift of telepathy.
How is that possible?
Gosh. I don't know.
That just confirms that it legitimate is a superpower. Like that, like that's just like
real.
There's just more you look into it. Like
That is pretty interesting. I remember a long time ago now where they were doing studies with certain animals, specifically parrots. There was this one parrot that was so attached to its owner that they put it through the same test that these guys just described, and the parrot would speak what the owner was seeing on the screen. That's pretty interesting. There's definitely got to be a way to connect minds somehow, and it just seems like people with autism may have figured out a way to do it better than anyone.
What the f? NASA just confirmed that they found what could be a parallel universe to ours in Antarctica. How is this not breaking news? In this article done by MSN, they said that NASA scientists detect parallel universe next to ours where time runs backwards. I personally have totally different thoughts when it comes to this Big Bang theory because I believe that we were created by the one true God. Just give me 40 more seconds because what I'm about to tell you is insane. So these scientists are saying that the Big Bang apparently made two universes, ours and another parallel universe to ours where time moves backwards. These scientists said that inhabitants of this other universe will look at our universe and say that ours is running in reverse time. This shit is mind-blowing, bro. What? Now, let me say this. There isn't any definitive conclusion on this yet, but these scientists probably opened the door to something very, very interesting. I don't know what these scientists are doing in Antarctica, but there's a reason why we're not allowed to go there, bro. They're obviously doing some shit that we cannot even fathom. Hence, a parallel universe. They're doing all types of experiments. If you want to see the experiment they did, go on MSN, the official MSN news page. They'll tell you everything.
Okay, so I did a little research on this. I definitely recommend it. It's like a 3-minute read. It's pretty interesting, but basically Antarctica has this weather balloon, if you will, made by NASA, and what the balloon's job is it reads particles that are transmitted down from space and that hits the floor. That's what normally happens, I guess, with these particles. And in Antarctica, these balloons are reading that these particles are actually going up. So their theory is that there's an alternate reality where time is going backwards and things like that. Interesting stuff. Do I believe it? I don't know about that one.
Amazon workers at a handful of facilities are on strike and at the peak of the holiday shipping and shopping season. Thousands of workers at 7 delivery hubs from New York to California went on strike this week to lobby for better benefits, pay, and working conditions. The Teamsters Union organizing the strike wants Amazon to agree to negotiate by tomorrow. Amazon says packages will still arrive on time.
I mean, for the people that work at Amazon, I hope the absolute best for you on whatever you're trying to succeed. I have seen quite a bit of these videos floating around on the internet, and I mean, under the conditions that they're asking, I think that it would not be unfair for Amazon to pay those wages and what they're asking for. The sad thing is I have a feeling Amazon's getting ready to do a full automation on their warehouses. I think a lot of jobs are. So it's only a matter of time before people aren't even going to be having jobs at these warehouses. So let's hope the best for these people. My only thing to the people that are going on strike is just do it respectfully. You know, don't obstruct traffic or disrupt people's properties, things like that. Other than that, hey, go for it. And I hope the best for you.
And we're here at Yangshan Quarry. And it blows my mind that to think that they thought they could move this entire thing. And maybe they could have. I don't know. It was never completed. So these pits here, these cutout areas, are sections that they would have started cutting out so they could eventually remove it. They go in about 15, 20 feet and stop there. This is much more clearly defined in terms of the cuts and the shape. Stone here, on my left to your right, is over 2,700 tons. And it has a cut going all the way down the bottom where it looks like they almost separated it.
Are you paying attention? Vatican will be conducting a sacred ritual on Christmas Eve. There's an entire network of ruins underneath the Vatican. Pope will open 5 sacred portals. Their words. One of these portals or doorways is a prison door that has never been touched in all of human history, and they will unseal it. As the winter solstice darkness peaks, these ancient doorways will be unlocked in a specific sequence.
webcams will broadcast this globally to millions. Think about that. They want millions to witness this simultaneously. Why? Sunsets at 4:42 in Rome on Christmas Eve. First door opens at 7 p.m. What happens in those dark hours in between? They're telling us everything in plain sight. Watch the patterns, watch the timing. The veil grows thin at sunset.
Now the real question is are you going to watch the stream? If it does not cost any money and it's just on YouTube or something, I may actually watch it if I remember to. But let me know in the comments. Is this something you are going to witness if it's out there?
Oh, I'm asking getting a good video of it, dude. Come to my house, man. You can see it from my house. Oh. Oh, Madison will probably put it up on YouTube, man. You can probably find it on YouTube.
I will say that one is definitely good footage. I just wish that we could see a zoomed out version, then zoomed in, because all we're seeing right now is just a zoomed in whatever that could be. But let me know, what do you guys think that is? Do you think that's an actual UAP that they claim that it is in the video, or do you think it could be a potential hoax?
Hey friends, so just when I thought I had heard it all, I just read the craziest thing and I gotta share it with y'all, okay? So this does have to do with the gray aliens and abductions and sleep. So if any of that makes you a little squirmish, then you might want to turn this off, even though this is gonna be a fascinating spin on this subject that you probably haven't heard before. So like in another video that I did, we talked about how the gray aliens are like very infatuated with human life, like stuff that we do that we take for granted, like going to amusement parks and playing with our dog and riding a bike and playing games, that kind of stuff. They really want to do all that because they don't have that stuff where they're from. So they want to come into, you know, Earth life and be a human. So one of the ways that they do that is just through the natural incarnation process, through, you know, just becoming a human, through natural human childbirth, right? And being a human. So in this scenario, you are a gray who is having a human life, but you still have a gray body on a ship somewhere, usually right outside of Earth, okay? So this is so fascinating. So when it comes to the abduction thing, when you're sleeping as a human, and we've talked about this in several of my videos, that we have out-of-body experiences every single night. So nearly everybody, Robert Monroe, through tons of research, came to this conclusion that everybody, every night, for the most part, as long as you get to a certain level, stage 3 and 4 of your REM sleep, then you'll actually have an out-of-body experience. Because you got to think about it. Your body goes to sleep. Your consciousness doesn't. Your consciousness never tires, okay? So it goes and does things. Goes to sleep for school, goes and explores, goes and plays, and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what your consciousness does when your body's asleep. Well, these grays, one of the things they do is their consciousness will go back up to their gray body on the ship, okay? And it can come back down and grab their human body and take it up and do things to it. Little maintenance and that kind of stuff, okay? And then return it back down. So in some of these abduction scenarios, you are abducting yourself. How freaking crazy is that? Because it's the consciousness, right? So the same consciousness that's in the human body, when your body goes to sleep, the consciousness goes back up to the other body. They come back down, grab your body, take it up, do some stuff to it, drop it back off, right? And you're none the wiser. But it's you the entire time. It's just your physical human body's asleep, you know, but the consciousness doesn't go to sleep. Right? And in this case, it just goes into another body, right? And then I guess whenever the body wakes up and then you kind of resume your human waking conscious life, then the gray probably goes to sleep or some sort of stasis or whatever. I don't know, right? That's fun to kind of speculate on. But just the premise of it, that the consciousness can have two bodies in two different places, but when one's asleep, the other one can actually come and pick it up and do work and maintenance to it. You know, it's kind of like if you had two cars, you drop one off at the mechanic, right? Yeah. It's kind of how this is, right? So I just thought I never thought about that angle before.
It's pretty
I never thought
interesting
about that possibility.
theory.
It's like every day there's some new thing that I'm just like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Did you hear about the flesh-eating squirrels? Yeah, right. Where? Biologists at the University of California witnessed them eating meat for the first time. I thought they just ate nuts and berries. So did even squirrel experts at the University of Wisconsin, because it started to go national with these professors. They're shocked seeing all of their squirrel observation. They've never witnessed this behavior before. Yeah, they do not know what's causing it, but they're definitely predators now. This can't be. They were not predators before. What happened? No one knows, but lately 42% of the squirrels that have been observed are eating meats They're predators now, and they don't know why. They're so cute. Well, now they're acting like cats. They are basically not prey anymore. They are becoming the predator and running after and devouring other creatures. Out of everything on my bingo card this year, this was not one of them. That wasn't to the professors and the biologists either. They were saying that they could not believe their eyes when they witnessed this. And it's not just one squirrel, it's a lot of them. It's a lot of 42% of them. Yeah, Dr. Wild of the University of California said that once they started looking, they started to see this behavior everywhere. But the people who brought them to their attention were undergrad students, and now they're just seeing it everywhere.
Well, let's just hope that they don't get so ravenous that they start attacking people, because that's the last thing we need. There's a lot of squirrels out there, and if you have an infestation of squirrels, there's no hope.
You piece of shit. I had to look this up. I thought the attempts at human-chimpanzee hybridization were bad enough. There was no way that we tried to make human hamster hybrids. Fuck me, said the fuck me science guy. So it's a hamster egg fertilized with a human sperm. You do have to remove the outer membrane of the hamster egg to make it work, but it works. Luckily, it doesn't work too well. As far as we know, even though these cells can start dividing, they cannot become a full multicellular being. They are often destroyed even before the first cell division. But we've been making them since the 1970s. And we make them primarily for two reasons. A more modern reason for making them is, well, there are lots of regulations around working with human stem cells, and any stem cells gotten from this process technically aren't human. Hooray! But really, the process was created to see how viable sperm are for in vitro fertilization. Basically, if you've been having a hard time having a baby and you're not sure if your sperm's the problem, you take hamster eggs, remove their membranes, dump a bunch of them and your sperm together and see if they get fertilized. And if they do, well, your sperm ain't the problem. Hooray for you.
That's just nasty.
Things are definitely heating up in our skies. The following footage comes from a woman in Phoenix, Arizona. She captured this on the night of December 20th, 2024, about 6:20 p.m. She was in the West Valley when she captured this. The footage is phenomenal, and I honestly have no idea what this is. But again, anytime we see something like this, especially in a row, we always think of the 1997 Phoenix Lights. But take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Those look like individual specks, maybe possibly drones, or that could be one massive craft and you can only see the lights and not the ship itself. That's an interesting thought.
Everybody thinks this guy is their Messiah, and his story's interesting. So his story, he claims that he went to this hill and Jesus was there and pretty much told him, and this is why I think it's wrong, because he said that Jesus told him that Jesus failed. That's what he said. And that he has to continue his mission for him. Yeah. This is what's wild though, because they had so many members of the Moonies, especially in the 70s to 80s, and I think it's still active to this day. That's why it's a little bit like iffy. Like, I'm not saying no disrespect or nothing. It's just like we just have to talk about it, right? But look, Moonies. This is active member. Like, look. Okay, let me see. How many? Over 3 million members.
Whoa.
Of the Moonies fam. Unification Church.
Okay, that's a cult, fam. That's insane.
That's a big cult. Now, they were able to make such a big impact in Korea, they brought it to America.
Everyone needs to stop for a minute and listen to what they're saying right now, right on the news. I'm telling you guys, big things are happening. In TikTok, it's the news saying it, not me. I'll be right back to show you some other insane things.
Joining us now is the founder of the Disclosure Project, Dr. Stephen Greer. Dr. Greer, it is great to have you on. A pleasure to be speaking with you right now.
Thank you.
What is going on out there? What are people seeing?
Well, it's a complex story to make it very succinct. We did predict this 30 years ago, that they would begin to launch some activity equivalent to a false flag to make it look like there's some sort of alien attack or threat. In reality, as a response to what's happening, And I've recently told the incoming members of the administration this and people at the Senate Intelligence. And
I just have a few questions for you, and that's all before we get to the next part. How did they know 30 years ago? How did they know? If he's being honest, and this is what he's saying, and it's going against certain parties and individuals, why is he allowed to say it on the news? Especially when he uttered the word with 2 F's, a something flag. I really hope that you're understanding what I'm telling you. Me and many people right now have been calling for something big, something soon, and something to happen that every single one of us is going to see. I'm not saying the news is lying necessarily, but if you want validation of facts, if the news isn't good enough, then I don't know what is. TikTok. Now it gets even deeper. What do you know? He is able to get on a mainstream podcast, the Sean Ryan Show, and talk about these things that were originated, I believe, in the 80s. And he is saying, not me, not Moon, Stephen Greer is saying that this is going to be what's happening. Be right back again.
Project Bluebeam. Mm-hmm. Can you describe what that is? It's the ability to stage through very advanced technologies an alien attack or an alien event.
People keep going on and on about Project BB. It's all Project BB. Well, now they're saying it mainstream, so do you still believe that's what it is? I've been trying to tell y'all for some time now, we're not just dealing with holograms. Sure, there will be holograms, but there's also some real spiritual entities that are in the sky. So while everyone's thinking it's going to be a hologram, what if it's not? How is your body going to react to the fact it's not just holograms? There is a spiritual war happening right in front of you. Like so many of you read the Bible, but you don't believe in demons? You don't believe in fallen angels? You think everything's going to be a hologram? All of the world's histories, especially the last 7 decades, are all going to collide in one moment with each other. People are saying it's time of disclosure, everything's going to be disclosed. But why? If you can figure out why, then maybe you'll understand. TikTok again, everything in this video was alleged, it's all my opinion, not even. It's what they say on the news and on mainstream platforms.
Hey, I mean, I'm just here along for the ride at this point. I'm hoping for the best for the world, for the countries. And it seems like things like this kind of happen now, not to this extent where there's just been drones and UAPs floating around, but I have a feeling within a month's time, if not sooner, it's all gonna get brushed under the rug, never get questioned really ever again, and something new will come up and people will be like, well, this is going to happen, this is what it's going to be, we said this was going to happen 30 years ago, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a fairly long one, and as always, if you enjoyed any of the clips that we watched today, links are in the description down below, and with that being said, have a good day.